Porter talks about 5 competitive forces that will directly affect your ability to have a sustainable competitive advantage. They involve what we call barriers to entry, the economic power of your customers and suppliers, the threat of substitute products, and the rivalry among competitors in your space. We're going to talk about each of these forces in detail, then discuss a method to combine them all and making it easier for you to identify what your strategic identity should be, who your target customers should be, and what value proposition you'll offer to those customers. In the next module, we'll talk about planning and executing the precise strategic activities you'll need to implement your strategy. With that, let's dive into the first of Porter's 5 forces. Porter calls it the threat of entry, but for our purposes, let's just say you should think about, how do I construct a strategy that will make it hard for others to compete with me? Here's the problem you must address. Even if you've come up with a completely novel idea that's an immediate home run, how long do you think it will take for competitors who are envious of your profits to enter the market? If you form a successful nonprofit with a unique mechanism for generating revenue for your cause, how long will it take other nonprofits to start catering to your customers or donors, dividing their loyalties and ultimately the revenue they provide? Even if you have the best idea in the world, if anyone else can enter your market and effectively copy you, you'll find maintaining a competitive advantage extremely difficult. Analyzing the threat of entry involves examining how easy it would be for your competitors to enter your market and, more importantly, determining how you can erect barriers to make it harder for them to enter your market. A number of barriers to entry you should look for when you're forming your strategy. If these barriers to entry exist in markets you're thinking of entering, recognize you might need to use significant resources to overcome them. If these barriers to entry don't exist, consider how you might be able to impose them to basically close the door behind you once you get into the market. The first barrier to entry is economies of scale. This means growing big quickly and making it hard for others to compete with you. Think about what it costs Amazon to ship a product. They have massive fulfillment centers all across the country. An order comes in, a robot almost instantaneously takes it off a shelf. It gets sent to a shipping line, which automatically determines the correct packaging and postage, and it gets packaged with supplies that are purchased at a huge bulk discount. Basically, delivering a product costs Amazon the minimal electricity the robot takes and the price of bulk packing materials and postage. The key to Amazon's efficiency is that they sell enough products to justify spending huge amounts of money on cost-cutting capital expenditures. A small retail outlet could never afford to spend this much money. Thus, Amazon has constructed a huge barrier to entry. A second important barrier to entry is product differentiation. This means your offering provides so much value to the customer that it's hard to copy. That value might include functionality, and perhaps the knowledge required to produce it can be patented. It might also involve a complex set of activities that are hard for a competitor to reconstruct. IKEA, the furniture store, is a great example. Their proprietary construction process, their unique locations, their do-it-yourself approach, and their attractive designs all combine to create a huge barrier to entry. There are many other possible barriers to entry you might consider. How do you force a competitor to raise large amounts of capital in order to compete with you? How do you make your product sticky so that it's hard to switch to a competitor? Can you develop an exclusive distribution channel that's not available to others? Can you develop some favorable cost advantages that are hard to copy? Can you obtain a patent or some other advantage growing out of government regulation? These suggestions are merely food for thought. What's important is that you think up front about ways your business model can create barriers to others who seek to compete with you.